Now, who has created this universe? This question is important because it deals directly with our existence. Already, much has been said in explanation to this question by various philosophers, scientists, spiritual leaders, founder of religions, and further there are traditional beliefs, what we learned from our parents and grandparents. So the common answer is God has created universe. We are going to check this statement. God is the creator of this world. General answer is, if the God is creator of this world, then this question gives birth to many queries. Who is God? When the universe was created? Why was it created? What is the purpose of this universe? Where was the creator before creation? Then whether the creator is one or there are many. If creator is the same, then why is there too much heterogeneity? Further, the question raised, who is operating the world? Then in this world, why do innocent people suffer? Why some are happy, majority unhappy? So if we take for granted this statement that God is the creator, then all these questions, they stand in front of us. Religions in this matter have their own viewpoint. We need to understand one thing here. We are going to study this topic in the light of wisdom shared by absolute scientist A.M. Patel. We regard him as holistic scientist, and in his vision, as per his wisdom, he shared this wonderful and amazing science which can lead us to the correct direction. And according to him, he firmly believed that there is nothing right, nothing wrong in the world. They are simply viewpoints. All are correct. Their places are different. Their angles are different. What they see may not be seen by another person, as his position is different. And that is why there are arguments. Christianity believes that God is the creator of this world. Islam says Allah has made it. And Hindus also believe Ishwar has made this universe. All of them are right from their own viewpoint. And when all these viewpoints are accepted, it is real gyan or knowledge. Holistic scientist Ambalal Mulji Bhai Patel, fondly known as Dada Bhagwan, he accepts the entire 360-degree. Let us consider one analogy. Imagine there is one circle and different people are standing on the circumference spot of that circle. And what they see, they share. There is only one person who is in the center. The person in the center will have 360-degree vision. So let us see the contribution of soul incarnate Dada Bhagwan. Dada Bhagwan used to give no discourse at all. He did not deliver any lecture anywhere. He would have only dialogues. And what he saw in his vision, he would share. He had this enlightenment, but natural. What Dadaji shares, thinkers and scientists agree to it. Dadaji was talking to P. Radhakrishnan sir in USA. In his dialogue, here we should know that P. Radhakrishnan was a scientist in NASA, Tennessee. And when he listened carefully to Dada Bhagwan, he realized that these what Dadaji says is exactly science. And Dadaji has the desire that this science should reach to the corners of the world so that people should understand secrets of this amazing puzzle called world. Then only they can understand the theory or the concept of retribution and the concept of karma. So according to Dadaji, the world is everlasting. There is no beginning of the world and there is no end of the world. The world was there before earlier and the world will be there. As a matter of fact, Dadaji says, nobody has created this world. Now, this fractures the belief which generally people have. And we are going to examine this. Then, who is the maker? Dadaji tells that the world is a puzzle itself. There is no particular person as a creator. I remember generally those who are suffering or those who suffer, they directly blame God. I remember there was a song dedicated blaming the God. Why did you make this world? If you made this world, then why did you create men and women? Okay, if you made them, why did you put heart in them? All right, heart was put. Why did you create emotions and emotions of love in that heart? And then who is responsible for that broken heart? So the lyricist perhaps did not have the correct knowledge of this fact that there is no single maker of this world. The world is created on its own. Then how it is being managed? Who is taking care? Our scriptures tells us metaphorically about Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. The ornamented and metaphorical description of scripture were taken plainly. Let us study this. How there is no creator and what type of puzzle the world is. If one thinks that God is the creator, then why will God take trouble to create this universe? Holistic scientist, He humorously says, God has not any daughter to marry or to bother about finding a bridegroom. Then why was the need to create? He will never be the creator. What is the meaning of creator? Creator is like a potter, and potter has to do much hard work, labor. Why God will involve in labor? God is not like that. And suppose, further he says, God would undertake the molding of all. If we all are children of God, why is there so much disparity? Why is not there uniform product? Why the faces and all and position, situation different? Because we call God impartial. Then how is that one right from his birth has to sleep on footpath and the another in a palatial bungalow enjoying all luxuries? Isn't this partiality? If God is the creator, then all the products will be the same. Their situation, their condition, their look, their appearance. But that is not the reality. God is not at all creator. Dadaji stresses this every now and then. And the reason is that if one believes that God is creator, then it automatically gives the conclusion that the person then is not responsible. If God is the creator, he will take care of the world. Why I have to execute my responsibility? Then how the world is managing? This is the second question. Who is taking care of this world? How does this vast operation? The universe is vast. So who is taking care of the collision of asteroids, halos, meteor? There are so many galaxies, particular time of movement. My God. Well, Dadaji says, in one sentence, I will tell you how this gigantic mechanism of the world functions. Then you can explore further yourself. This world functions on the basis of scientific circumstantial evidences. Now we need to understand this term, scientific circumstantial evidences. So first we have to accept that there is nobody sitting in the sky managing the keyboard, managing the entire world, that this thing should be given to him, this suffering should be given to him, this disease would pass to that person, like that. It happens automatically. Nobody in the sky has time to operate this mechanism of this world. Dadaji calls it Vyavasthit Shakti. So Vyavasthit Shakti is orderly nature, which keeps everything in its proper order. It controls the entire universe and it is impartial. It is a systematic, autonomous energy or power. We can take the example of a rainbow. For instance, how is rainbow created? Can anybody answer, please? How rainbow appears in the sky? Has God created the rainbow? Anyone, please unmute yourself and share your views. People used to believe God has created this, God has created that. Has God created the rainbow? How rainbow is created in the sky? there are water droplets, there is the sun. The sun rays pass through the water droplets. The white color of sun ray is fragmented into different colors, 7 colors, and this process gives us beautiful rainbow in the sky. Can we create rainbow in the sky as big as is created by orderly nature? So this is the system. We can understand what is scientific circumstantial evidences. Things happen, incidents happen because all the evidences come together. I have forgotten to tell one thing. Even disclaimer is there in the beginning. There is no effort or purpose to fracture any belief regarding it. The topic is very deep and it has been dealt widely by different philosophers, scientists, religious founders, as we said earlier. We are simply sharing the vision, the actual sight seen, witnessed by the enlightened being. Okay. So the question arises, if God is not the creator, he is not managing the world is managed by orderly nature, it keeps everything in its proper order, whether you pour in the space the smoke of chemical industries, it clears it, whether anywhere is there dead body, the orderly nature conducts its disposal automatically. So orderly nature takes care of everything. A seeker wanted to know then what is the exact address of God. If we have to send message, if we have to talk God, if we have to pray to God, where should we send our prayers? What is his exact address? Dadaji says, you must inquire first. This is very amazing answer. Dadaji has never mentioned anywhere that other viewpoints are wrong. They call it everything is fine. I will give you his correct address. God is in every creature, whether visible or invisible. Innumerable living organism. It might be invisible. It exists between you and me, Dadaji says. God resides in them. All the living beings. He is in them as a power unmanifested, but he has fully manifested within me in all his glory. This statement requires to be discussed elaboratively. Where is God? God is in every creature. So God is hidden in not only human beings, in all the creatures who have soul. God is not in the creation. God is not in inanimate things. God is not in the chair or the bottle or the wall. But he is there in all the creature. And this statement is correct and foundation of the core human value, non-violence. That is why anyone should not be violent to others. It is a direct crime against the God. God is there in all human beings. But what is the difference? Is there God in the thief? Yes, he is there, but it is unmanifested. He does not know. The thief is not aware. Whereas God has fully manifested within me. Let us understand what the enlightened one wants to say. He says, this body is the body of a person. I am Ambalal Mulji Bhai Patel. I am not Dada Bhagwan. But what is manifested within me, he is worshipable. He is the God. And I too humbly offer my salutation. Well, he further explains, I hope this will help us to change our conception of God, because incomplete and wrong information will lead either to superstition or to fear. Here comes the most proper and most acceptable, and that can change our life. Dadaji further asked, Ki Bhagwan or God, what do you think? It is a name or an adjective? Now, this question is very important because widely we use God or Bhagwan as a name. Even in grammar, it is noun. But Dadaji says it is not noun. This is the very huge misconception nurtured by so many people. God is not a particular person, he is not a particular being. Please look in the picture. God is a status, God is a throne, it is an adjective. Just as the adjective Bhagyavan or lucky, this adjective is derived from the name Bhagya. Similarly, Bhagavan, linguistically he explains, Bhagavan, the word is derived from Bhagavat, and the meaning of Bhagavat is godly attributes. The one who has the attributes of Bhagavat qualifies for the adjective Bhagwan. So, does it convey that any human being who develops the particular qualities can be qualified to occupy this throne and become God? Anybody. We are all in the process of evaluation. Charles Darwin stopped at the stage of human being. He did not discuss what evolution is there after reaching the stage of human being. Holistic scientist A.M. Patel ji describes the evolution process further in the status of human being. He says There are 14 lakh layers of human being. And those who raise themselves, promote themselves to the uppermost level, they can become God. Now we understand why our saints and learned spiritual leaders used to say, "Eh, from Nar, one can become Narayan." So anybody who has the attributes of Bhagavad qualifies for Bhagwan. Well, in Greek mythology and Indian mythology, on the basis of imagination, they have put forward the concepts of God. There are so many gods in Greek mythology, including the god of wine, god of ocean, god of moon, so many. And people say there is god of death in our scriptures also. But all these are metaphorical description. Ornamental language was used to bring the point home, which people unable to understand that ornamentation accepted it as a plain fact, and they drew then the pictures. There is reference to god of death or called Yamraj. Yamraj, as is visible in this picture, is a demon with long teeth, a huge buffalo. Dadaji says actually there is no creature called Yamraj. Actually, it is Niyam Raj, the rule of natural laws. And this Niyam, these laws, they run everything in this world. Our life as well as death rest with Niyam Raj. With this right understanding, there shall not remain any fear or apprehension of Yamraj. The conception of God is mainly more imaginary, and that is why what one wants to convey to God, it becomes like a letter with a wrong address. What will happen if on a parcel or letter a wrong address is put? The person does not exist. It will roam here and there and will return back. Such things happen. That is why we need to know the exact knowledge about creation and God. Presently, we have so many illusions. One such illusion is we are the doers, which further strengthens our ego. After knowing that there is no creator and the universe is vast, there is a specific orderly nature which takes care of everything. How can one be the doer? As a matter of fact, there is no authority to do even a very small and simple activity. Can we control our heartbeats? Are we aware how food passes through the different stages inside? Do we know how blood is circulated the entire body? Is there any awareness about how various glands release some or the other liquid and help food to be digested? Can anybody has any control? Dadaji used to say frequently, a person even cannot empty his bowel. It is not in his hand. Orderly nature takes care of everything. If one is sleeping, how he gets up, who is there who awakens him? But not knowing this, people boast themselves that a certain thing, certain incident happened because of them. They are the doers. And because they are the doers, they feel so, there is a karmic bondage. Then they have to suffer. And the power which is taking care of this entire system, it is impartial. With right understanding, one can acknowledge the truth. Ages and ages have been spent in the illusion. We are very thankful to this time that we are living in that period where the enlightened being existed. He talked, he showed the various ways, he conducted dialogues, he answered so many questions, not only of common people, of various scientists. And still, this holistic scientist would say that people don't have such deep questions which I can answer. Such questions are not coming to me, which the answers of which can be very much amazing and beneficial. Still, so many questions were asked to him, and it came in the form of a big library. So many audios and videos, so many books. So we were talking about right understanding. If understanding is not proper, if direction is not proper, we will be led in the darkness. One example can be given how right understanding can be helpful. Imagine a person is there and he wants to pass through a jungle. One guide is there and he assured the person, there is no fear, you can pass through this jungle, there is no harm, it is safe, 100% safe, there is nothing to bother about. The man relied and started walking. At one point at night, suddenly he listened to the roarings of lions. And he was panic. He just turned back and started running. Actually, what happened? The guide knew that there were lions, but he forgot to tell him that those lions were in the cage. There was nothing to bother about. So with incomplete knowledge, with half knowledge, fear will arise. We will be panic stricken. So we had to understand that the universe has no creator at all. Secondly, this universe, the world is operated by orderly nature and it is impartial. And thirdly, God resides in each and every creature. God is there in creature, not in the creation. Dadaji used to describe that because he was enlightened one and he has that rare vision. He could see, he used to say, कि, I have traveled far and wide here and there is nobody in the sky. Generally, people raise their finger to the sky, saying that God is there. But God is there in all human beings, in all creatures. At this point, I invite you, if any question is there, we will have here a session of discussion. Then we will turn to the next slide. You please unmute yourself and you share. What do you think about this? Yes, anybody, please share your views. How you feel, whether you are able to tackle with this knowledge, or do you still feel, you know, God is there in the sky somewhere, He can manage the things? May I invite somebody? Neha Gandhi, madam.
Jai Sachidanand, sir.
Jai Sachidanand, will you please add something or will you please express your views about this topic?
Uh, Actually, what I think is, according what Dadaji said, what we have learned from him is there is no particular God, but as we called as Astha, our faith is definitely there. Because as we don't know that who is the creator, how the world has been created, as Chandrakant sir right now talked about, that no one is the creator of the world, but still the world is working. Still, everything happens on time. The sun rises on time, the sun sets on time, and the wind blows. We take oxygen. We do not need to find oxygen from the atmosphere. It automatically comes to our body. So, this everything proves that there is some energy. So, which that energy is, that is the scientific circumstantial evidence which is working on in this world to run this world. And moreover, what we believe as God is like, as we have many epics also, we have many different proofs also that God is there. So that is our faith. Our faith is working. Like whenever we are praying to some God, or whenever we are praying to some energies, so at the time nothing but our faith is working, our subconscious mind is working, our most powerful decision is working behind it. So definitely scientific circumstantial evidence is the most powerful evidence which is working behind the world to run this.
Thank you, madam. And this concept was given by holistic scientist A.M. Patel. Earlier, we never had this term, scientific circumstantial evidence.
और हमारा ग्लास चार वेडनेसडे को आ जाएगा और ये शीशा भी वेडनेसडे को आ जाएगा.
Yashodhara madam wants to say something. Yashodhara ma'am.
This is as Neha madam told, I agree with her. And the thing is, this is some energy, Shakti, which this is some moral order. We can say it is order, unchanging. And then we can compare it with Ruta of Rigveda. There is little difference between Ruta and Satya. Satya is the truth. But there is something untruth also we can say. But Ruta is the some order. According to that, everything, all the work happens. Like Dada says, Vyavasthit Shakti. That power, that energy is already fixed. We can't change according to our. On that basis, the earth or the samsara goes on.
Fine, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I invite Dr. E.T. Dayal, sir, in the light of this statement, how can we deal with the problem of innocent suffering in the world? Please express your views.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this topic.
Please.
We all have been brought with this feeling. We have grown up with this feeling that yes, there is some spiritual entity, some extra physical entity, which is governing this world, which is inducing purpose which is inducing purpose in the motion of energy and matter. Whatever happening in our body, in the material sphere, the purpose is induced by some spiritual entity. So our civilization, our Indian culture, it is a spiritual in the sense that we accept that there is some consciousness which is fundamental and which is driving the order, the harmony, the design in this world. And that's how our Indian culture or Indian philosophy is regarded as a spiritual, because we believe that consciousness is fundamental, which is working through all the harmony, establishing harmony, bringing order, beauty, design. But still we see that there is so much of suffering in this world. The suffering is not because of God. It is because of our freedom of will. God has given us freedom of will. God has given us options, and the option we opt, that brings the suffering, or that brings the bliss. So it is, if we are suffering, it means we are misutilizing our freedom of will.
Exactly.
So this is like this Hsrc. It is working. It is working. We can say that it is working to make us efficient in making good choices, in utilizing our freedom of will according to dharma. So life is all about how to learn how to make good choices for the benefit of the entire creation, how to overcome our biological instincts, and how to elevate our plane of experience, our plane of existence, our plane of consciousness. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, madam. You have used very suitable words. So, to simplify madam's speech, we are whole and soul responsible for our own personal world. All right,
Yes.
let me invite now Nimesh and Beenerji to share their views. What do they think? Nimeshji, please unmute yourself.
Jay Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
I have one question about the inanimate objects. I believe that there is no God in the inanimate objects, and I'm curious, did Dadaji ever provide, is it a factual statement or is there a logical proof of this or philosophical proof?
Well, in creation, they take any object, for instance, there is no sensitivity, there is no soul, hence, we cannot find God in that particular object.
Chandrakantji,
Yes, yes, Lala sir is there.
Dr. Nimesh, I would like to add here that Dadaji has specifically explained there are animate things and non-animate. So in animate thing, there is no consciousness, and where is no consciousness, he says there is no God there. That the man-made creation. If I make a pot, there is no God in the pot, right? But in the creator, that is a human has made this, there is a consciousness of him, and there he says, wherever you find consciousness, there is a God.
Okay, thank you.
Nicely.
Thank you, Lala sir.
Dr. Nimesh joining. So happy to see you on video.
Thank you.
Fine, fine. Anybody else has to discuss or share anything?
Yes, Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Yes, Dr. Oja, please.
Yeah, Namaskar.
Namaskar.
At the outside, you just started at the outset.
Yeah,
Who created this universe?
yeah,
So, in the conclusion, it was told that the universe doesn't have any creator. It's that.
yeah.
So, how is it possible that if there is no creator, how this great world or universe is running now? We are finding everything, whether it's animate or inanimate. If we refer to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says in the 10th chapter of Vibhuti Yoga that Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhutasaya Sthitah Aham Adischa Madhyamcha Bhutanam Antamevacha. I am the universal self, seated in the heart of all beings. So I alone am the beginning, the middle, and end of all the beings. Number one. Number two, in 18th chapter and 46th verse, again Lord says that Yatah Prabhuttir Bhutanam Yena Sarvamidam Tatam. So from whom the tide of creation has streamed forth and by whom all this universe is pervaded. We are to worship in our action, by our action, to attain him. These are the things he told. And you might be knowing in Vibhuti Yoga and 19th chapter also, he tells, I am everything. Aham kratu, aham yagyaha, aham swadha, aham ausadham, aham mantra, aham eva ajyam, aham agni, aham hutam. Whether it is animate or inanimate, everything, in everything I am there. And from everything has been created by me. So without any creator, how the creation will be perverted? That is the question.
Right.
And what is the viewpoint of Dadaji in this regard?
Sir, Dr. Oja,
Ji.
I had the benefit of attending this discussion with Dadaji himself.
Yeah.
Right. about what is said in the Gita. He says where God, Lord Krishna has used the I,
Yeah.
is to be understood as a consciousness
Okay.
of myself. So say my creation. My name is LD Patel. So I am the creator of my LD Patel. Okay, and his own world, and that is how it does not contradict. He was telling, but that the theory of everlasting universe, it has been referred also in many other literature that the world is everlasting, and where Dadaji explained that something which is said to be everlasting, definitely there should not be a creator. But he said you do not discuss this issue in the world at large, because this is for the thinkers, he said. Okay, thinkers will definitely accept that this when world is everlasting, definitely there is no one creator. Okay, single or personal creator. This is what he said, because this is being misused by different people, that uh, throwing every responsibility on God, which is not there. You are the creator of your own world. In Yoga Vasishtha and various other references, even Veda Upanishad also, rarely in Veda also you will never find that God will has created this world. But the people in general, Dadaji also said, I listen personally, that if you ask me on the road, I will say God is the creator. But if you ask me in this room, I'll say God is not the creator. That way, he said, because so many discussions and so many uh, treating God is the creator opens a Pandora box of questions. And when you accept this world as an eternal thing, then it stops so many questions and by questions and makes one responsible, feeling responsible for his own world. Right? And then the theory of karma and all these things can be applied. So God has explained in Gita both ways, right? So in different days, he has given different viewpoints, right? So I, that is where Dadaji said, I, he has referred to the consciousness, your Atman, right? There Lord Krishna says, I, wherever. And that it's so many, it unravels so many truths by treating where he has said, I as a consciousness. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much that you joined.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lala sir, for very comprehensive answer. And further, Lord Krishna's statements indicate all the time that human being should not boast himself as a doer. At one point he says, Aham Vaishwanar Bhutva Praninam Deha Mashrita Prana Pan Samayukta Pachamenyam Chaturvidam. He says, I am the one who even digests your food. So one cannot boast to say that he is the doer. Shall we move forward to the next slide, or
He has explained. Yes, you are right. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Now, here are self-enlightening dictums of Dada Bhagwan. On this topic, this will further light our topic. I want one of you to please read this dictum and we will then discuss over it. 2690. Anybody please read it. Vinita madam, are you there? Dr. Vinita. Yashodhara ma'am.
Sejal is also there.
Okay.
Mr.
Sejal
Pani-
Nasi ma'am is there. Okay, Sejal ma'am, please read these dictums and we will discuss over it. First one, 2690.
Sure. Namaste.
Namaste.
2690. The orderly nature runs the world, but it is not the creator of the world. The world is made of its own nature.
Yes, this is what we discussed. orderly nature runs the world, but it is not the creator. The world is made of its own nature. That is why Dadaji called this world as puzzle. And he says there are two ways to solve this puzzle: by relative viewpoint and by realistic viewpoint. It is elaboratively discussed. We will talk about it in the upcoming session. Next one, Sejalman, 2693.
2693. There is no one creator of the orderly nature. It is like one who writes in the examination, gets results as one deserves.
This dictum supports the theory of karma. Orderly nature is also not created by anybody. It is like one who writes in the examination, gets result. Okay, next one, Sejalman.
3842. The whole worldly process is only instrumental in nature. There is no creator of it all, anytime. It is all illusionary doership, everywhere and corresponding clinging of karmic charges.
Thank you, ma'am. This is little deeper. The entire worldly process is instrumental. Again, it is repeated. There is no creator. It is all illusory doership. Everywhere. If my purse is lost, picked up by any pickpocket, so I need not blame him. I need not complain him, because there are so many people on the railway station. That particular time, I happened to collide with that pickpocket, and I was carrying that enough money in my pocket, that certain amount was picked up. So all this is instrumental. He is not the doer at all. It is illusory doership. And this is, Dadaji says, is the justice of nature. Otherwise, you say, let me tell you, there are so many wrongdoers who are not executed in the system. Then can one say that there is no justice at all? Orderly nature is there to do justice. And this illusory doership, because of this illusory doership, that you are responsible for my suffering. This is my illusion. And by having this illusion, I am further clinging of more karmic charges. I hope this is well understood. Next one, Sejalji.
Dictum 3872. Even God is not the creator of the world, else he would too get bound by karmic forces.
Yes, this we have discussed. So once again, if God has created this world, then he is to blame, because this world is not the perfect one. This world is not the place where one can be very, very happy in his entire life. People have been seen blaming, shouting, scolding God in a particular situation. Many people turned atheists, isn't it? So if after understanding that God is not creator, otherwise he too will be subject for karmic forces. Neha Gandhi madam wants to say something. Neha ji, please share.
I just wish to say one thing. It means like what Chandrakant sir has told us right now, that illusory doership is everywhere. So we can say, sir, in that way that I had taken some debt from someone which is not being cleared by me, right? In which birth I have taken the debt, I don't know, whether knowingly, unknowingly, whatever the situation is, but I have to clear it in any of my birth. So if the pickpocket is there, okay, so that means that I had to clear my debt of whatever the amount is there. So the scientific circumstantial evidence has created that scene. At the time, I had to pay whatever money is available in my pocket, and the person who has to take money from me supposed to take my pocket at the same time, right? So it means whatever the debt is left, that is being cleared by the energy or by the circumstantial evidence itself. So in that also, neither me nor that person is the doer of anything, and so the God is not the doer, because when we are getting the money, we never say, thank God you have given me the money. At the time, we say that it is my good luck or it is my hard work, and because of that, I have earned the money. And when we are losing, we are blaming the God. So there is no creator in this sense, because whatever karma we have done, accordingly, we had to lose or we have to gain.
And
is it like this, sir?
Yes, yes. And nature takes care of clearing the account in this way. Otherwise, there will be no justice at all. Yashodhara madam has to say something. Yashodhara ji, please.
We are enjoying our karma follow in this life of the previous birth. That karma means kriya. Whatever kriya, action or activities we have done in our previous life, so many lives, we don't know how many lives we have overcome by taking this life. In this life, we don't know in which lives karma phala we are enjoying. When karmodaya is, when udaya kala is there, then we get all the health. Suddenly we get the prosperity, or whenever our karma is bad karma comes, then we get all the failures also. So we are responsible for everything, whatever is there. And now we are in this life, we are enjoying the karma phala of the past life, whatever it may be, previous life or before that. So this is my view.
Thank you, madam. And nature takes good care of all these things so that innocent people should not suffer and the account should be properly maintained. The next one is 4174. I think this will further clarify Dr. Ojha sir's point. Please read, Sejal ma'am.
Dictum 4174. If we hold a cut-out picture of donkey against a sunlight, a similar image will be seen on the wall. Here the sun is the creator of the image, merely by its very presence and not in any other context. It even does not know that someone has put the donkey's picture. Similarly, the nature of reality is termed as doer in its own context and not doer in any other context at all.
What a fine reading. Thank you very much. So, Ojaji, as we discussed, this analogy will be very helpful to bring home the point. So, if we hold a cut out picture of donkey against the sunlight, the similar shadow of donkey will appear on the wall. So, in particular context, we can say sun is the creator. So in that particular context, we can say God is the creator. But here, the image is created merely by its very presence and not in other context. The sun is even not aware that somebody has put the donkeys cut out in such a way as the shadow of donkey will throw on the wall. So similarly, the nature is termed as doer in its own context and not doer in other context at all. I hope the point is little bit clearer.
Yeah.
So these are the self-enlightening dictums of Dada Bhagwan. If anybody has to share anything, the mic is open to you. And here we conclude our today's session, and let us have this proper direction, because we are very much fortunate to have this vision at this time. Dada Bhagwan, he had this
Maybe.
1 minute. Dada Bhagwan had this enlightenment but natural, and he shared what he saw. He used to call himself as a non-intellectual. Whatever questions were asked to him, he has no memory, he said. He has no memory. Whatever he sees in his vision, he would share. So this, with this right knowledge, with this pure knowledge, let us march onwards and let us be more responsible. Let us confront ourselves to the fact that even though we are not doer, our own world, our own life, we are the creator of it. By our right karmas, by right attitude, by pious and meritorious work, we can create happiness in our life. And we should not be instrument to cause any harm to anybody. He would always say, as God is in each creature, one should not take life of any creature. One should not